Destiny 2 Crimson Weapon Review. The Crimson hand cannon, I'd say, is kind of my favorite hand cannon so far because, well, technically, in terms of the stats and the exotic perk on this thing, it really isn't a hand cannon because it's a 3-round burst hand cannon, and, well, let's just say with the cool remedy trait, kills with this weapon heals you, well, at least starts the regenerating process, and precision kills refill your magazine. Does that sound familiar, Destiny 1 veterans? Oh yeah, the Red Death. This tiny little hand cannon is basically a miniature version of the Red Death, and I'd say it's pretty good. It's probably not as great as the Red Death when it first came out, and probably equal to how the Red Death was back in year 3, I think. Wait, no, year 2. Anyway, this hand cannon looks awesome and performs awesome in both game modes. It's not as great as the meta weapons known as the Mida Multi-Tool, the Uriel's Gift, and whatever else that came out with the Osiris DLC. But I do know one thing, that this hand cannon is fun to use, it's unique, and it works in both modes. I like it. Say what you want, I'd say this thing has pretty good accuracy, and I noticed that anything 3-round burst when it comes to pistols like hand cannons or sidearms, the recoil on the 3-round burst types of those, it's basically the same thing. It's sometimes has some variation depending on the stats, but the actual pattern is the same. I think it's 1 bullet in the middle and 2 bullets up top. And that can be hard to get all headshots on, but I've done that. It's not impossible. And it's very easy to get all headshots in PvE. Kind of obvious there. Anyway, all the other perks on there, the stat changing perks, you got small bore, you got accurized rounds, and heavy grip. And also, this hand cannon is part of the new archetype, even though it is a 3-round burst hand cannon, so it has a little bit more RPM on the stats on the actual, when you actually preview the weapon, it says 386 instead of the actual archetype, where it comes from. Anyway, the impact on this weapon, since it's basically the Red Death turned into a hand cannon, it looks like it basically kept the Red Death stats, so impact, other than the fact that the impact is crazy on this thing, especially since it's a 3-round burst, it has a very good range for a hand cannon. Well, should I say pulse rifle. Stability is almost maxed, which is pretty good. Handling is almost in the middle. It can feel sluggish, but it's not as sluggish as like some of the very slow rate of fire hand cannons. Those things take a long time to reload, and obviously the reload speed is pretty average. I'd say about the same reload speed as the Better Devils, but I'd say that this gun, well, it probably doesn't have the explosive rounds. It surely doesn't have that great of a time to kill, but one thing is for sure that I like about this, it kind of melts into my play style, which I try to go for, but end up failing at it. Flanking. Basically, I want to be the person, like, you've heard of pinching in a lot of Trials of Osiris tactics, right? So basically, a bunch of people, it's a team shoot, one team on both sides, but sometimes one guy flanks around and pinches the other team while they're weak from the other people on the other side of the map shooting them. And it's pretty good. It's pretty neat. And anyway, this thing was being sold by Zur. It definitely isn't by now, but I think it's way better than whatever the faction rally is right now. Anyway, smack that like button, hit the sub, drop the comment. I'm out of here.